All right, guys, so watch this for Friday, May 12th. Today, you can see that little tail on the SPY. It actually did sell off down into support and then reversed. A lot of people would look at that and say, I bet day traders made a nice killing on that reversal down there at support. I did something today I haven't done probably in over a year. I almost went all day without a trade. I went until the afternoon and took one trade and ended up plus 30 something dollars. I know it's goofy, but it's better than an ugly day. And I had other things going on in the middle of the day, so you want to trade in the middle of the day anyway. And all morning I was, at least I feel like I was focused. And just like we teach in our trading course, I followed my rules. If I can't find an A plus setup, and can't take it at an inflection point, I just don't trade. But that's what happened today. I couldn't find one. So it was weird sitting in front of these screens all day and not putting any money to work. But what are you gonna do? So SPY anyway, holding up nicely. Let's look at some potential bounce plays for tomorrow. And what I look for on some of these is if it had a big down day into some support, a lot of times you get a bounce the next day, and we teach methods to enter them the next day if they set up. Again, remember what I just said. I only take trades if they meet one of my A plus setups. All right. So big down day for Kohl's KSS into or near some recent support. But I would also note that, and you'll see this in the video, retailer is really ugly, so they might just have another nasty day tomorrow. We'll see. If Kohl's gets down to 34, it's even more interesting. So keep an eye on KSS, especially if it's red all day tomorrow. It's going to look really good around there. Next week, anywhere around 34 is when something gets to support in a hurry, right, without any little blips along the way, then they're set up for, if they've come a long way in a hurry, I should say, then they're set up for a really nice snapback bounce. And as a day trader, that's the kind of stuff that I can make some nice money on because I don't hold overnight anyway. So that's why I try to find stuff like this as potential bounce plays. So KSS is certainly one of them. CBI, again, these are ugly charts I'm showing you. All these bounce plays are going to be ugly charts. But CBI, kind of an ugly 3 days down at Chicago Bridge and Iron. It was just the other day. It was like 29 bucks. It's down to 24. 3 red days in a row. Big volume. That's also a good setup for a snapback. HTZ is, at some point people are going to step in and look at this as a value play. This hurts rental cars. I mean, we've all heard of that company, right? Back in August and September, it was 50 bucks, and now we're down here to 11. And really, just as recently as maybe 2 weeks ago, it was almost 18. All right, so that is quite the haircut. Looking for one of these days. It might not be tomorrow. And again, if I don't get the right setup, I won't take a trade. But looking for one of these days, value players to step in and catch a nice intraday bounce in HTZ. FOSL, another retailer. Again, nothing pretty about this chart. Just looking for a potential bounce tomorrow after the gap down and then another red day. See what this thing looks like on the weekly chart. I mean, man, it hasn't been to this price. I don't know, since 2009. So this is certainly one to watch. But again, nothing pretty about the chart at all. Just looking for a potential bounce. Dillard's DDS, another one kind of like Kohl's, straight down on big volume into recent lows. When they get ahead of themselves in the very short term, you can get a nice bounce. Fitbit, FIT, this one after the gap up is kind of come down and test the 20-day. It's sitting right at that $6. The highest it got after the gap up was 680. This is starting to feel a little more bearish. If it's going to bounce, I really need it to bounce off recent resistance, which was 6, and it's come down there 3 red days in a row now. So this is an area, the 20-day right there. This is an area where it needs to bounce. So I've had this on watch for several days in a row, have not had a trade in it. Just goes to show, I always say this doesn't cost me anything to put stocks on a chart, and I have to have the right setup, okay? OPTT looked like it wasn't going to break the flag to the upside. Instead, it rolled over, but then ended up right back in. So this one's still interesting to me. Let's see, today's high was 155. Yesterday's high was 157 point something, so we'll say 158. 159, and the high of this big spike here, which got this up into the gap on decent volume, was 162. So I'm just going to say this really needs to get through 160 on volume, and then you've still got a potential flag break and maybe a little short squeeze. So I'm not going to take it off my radar, but again, no trades in this one today. GLBS, nice extra little expanded volume today, and if you look at it like 60-minute candles, I don't know, going back, what, 15 days here, 20 days? I don't know. Really nice. It looks like it's put in a bottom now. Nice spike here. And then today it closed. I guess this was the opening spike this morning. Today it closed at its highs. So look at it on 15s. So, you know, that's pretty impressive as a day trader when you see this spike, lower high. Some folks in chat were getting long right around here today over 145. The day was almost over. I didn't do anything with it, but I agreed with it because you had the morning spike and you had a really tight trend line there, flag pattern. So I was happy for them to see people get money and a really nice close there. I'm looking for a follow through on this. GLBS can really move when it decides to get going. So I want to watch that one for a potential long. WKHS had this really nice rally, basically almost a round trip, which makes me like it less. But you know what? Buyers did step in at the end of the day. So I'm still going to put this on bounce watch one more day. Okay. DRRX, no trades in that one today, by the way. DRRX gapped up, sold off, and then actually at one point today took out the highs of the gap up, closing pretty strong on really good volume. Let's look at it on 15s. You kind of have a little cup and handle going, not a perfect one, but nonetheless, I think this one's worth watching. It might get some legs to the upside. We'll see. SGMO. Some folks in chat today took a late day long, right on this day long flag break somewhere in here, and had a nice little end of day trade. Again, I'd gone so long without trading, I didn't take this one either, but it closed strong. And so when you look at the daily, a very nice, huge volume candle and a strong close, maybe a red to green or something like that in this one tomorrow. Definitely deserves to be on watch. FNJN. This one, you know, had trouble with 230 here. Back here, it went to 235. Well, in after hours, this one actually was briefly, I think, over 3. And as I'm talking right now, at 5:19 Eastern, I think it's trading at 252. So they must have had news. I didn't take the time to look it up, but potential gap and go tomorrow on this FNJN. All right, might have some shorts caught from today, thinking it's topped out near recent resistance, and then tomorrow, you know, it opens well above all this. You might have a nice gap and go play. So that one goes on watch. PIRS kind of today put in an inside of yesterday's range, but closed pretty strong. Let's just keep our eyes on this one. I've been watching that thing trade for a few days, and it is a tough trader. It can get nasty whippy, so keep that in mind if you trade it. You know, choose correct position size, trade it small if you trade it. And then there's nothing really that compelling about CYCC closing at 530, but I believe they had earnings in after hours, and it's trading at 560 right now. So recent high flyer, well, somewhat recent, early April, remember, did this crazy move, found some support. So it's set to probably gap up tomorrow. Might be worth a gap and go setup if we can get one, right? Again, I'm always about proper intraday setups or I don't get involved. So that's my list. We'll add some gappers in the morning. Have a great night. We'll see everybody tomorrow.